On December 7, 2007, two brothers climbed onto a scaffolding platform on the roof of a 47-story skyscraper in Manhattan. They'd done this thousands of times before. 12 years of washing windows on the New York City skyline, and the routine was second nature. But that morning, the cables holding their platform slipped from their attachment point, and both brothers fell 500 feet to the ground. Edgar Moreno, the younger brother, was killed instantly. But Alcides somehow survived. Rescue workers found him sitting upright in the wreckage, hands pressed to his chest. Doctors called his condition a complete disaster. Both legs shattered, arm broken, severe spinal, chest, and abdominal injuries. They pumped 24 units of blood into his body and drilled a hole in his skull to relieve the swelling. The death rate from a 3-story fall is about 50%. Almost nobody survives a fall from more than 10 stories. Alcides fell 47, and he walked out of rehab 4 months later. His wife told reporters afterward that she knew one thing for sure: his days as a window washer were over. But every single day, across hundreds of cities around the world, thousands of other workers strap into harnesses, step onto platforms, and descend the sides of buildings that are worth more than most people will earn in a lifetime. This is the most dangerous job you've probably never thought about. Right now, there are over 100,000 skyscrapers on Earth, and every single one of them needs to be cleaned, inspected, and repaired from the outside. Not once, constantly. The glass, the steel, the concrete, the stone, the sealant between every panel. All of it deteriorates. Rain, wind, pollution, UV radiation, temperature swings that expand and contract materials by fractions of an inch, over and over, year after year, until something cracks, or shifts, or falls. In 1979, a college student named Grace Gold was walking past a building on the Upper West Side of Manhattan when a chunk of terracotta broke free from the facade and struck her. She died. That single incident changed everything. New York's mayor at the time, Ed Koch, pushed through Local Law 10, which for the first time required buildings over 6 stories tall to have their exterior walls professionally inspected. But the law had problems. Inspectors could only examine the front of the building. They'd stand on the sidewalk and look up, which is not exactly a reliable method for spotting cracks on the 52nd floor. The other 3 sides of the building? Legally, nobody had to check them at all. Then in 1997, a massive section of brick wall broke loose from a building on Madison Avenue, raining tons of debris from above the 33rd floor. A safety net caught most of it, but the message was clear. The old law wasn't enough. New York passed Local Law 11 the following year, requiring full inspections of every facade every 5 years on every building over 6 stories in all 5 boroughs. That covers more than 14,000 buildings. And somebody has to physically get out there and do it. The workers who maintain these buildings don't just wash windows. That's the part people see, but it's one piece of a much bigger operation. Facade maintenance includes sealing cracks in concrete, replacing damaged glass panels, inspecting stone and brickwork for structural weaknesses, repainting and refinishing metal surfaces, checking waterproofing membranes, testing sealants around every window and door, and conducting the detailed engineering inspections that keep buildings legally compliant and, more importantly, keep pieces of them from falling on people walking below. All of this happens hundreds, sometimes thousands of feet in the air. The primary tools are building maintenance units, which most people call those gondola platforms you sometimes see hanging off the side of a skyscraper. They ride along tracks mounted to the roof or exterior structure and lower workers down the face of the building. On simpler structures, workers use rope access techniques, essentially rappelling down the side like industrial rock climbers. Either way, you're suspended above the street with nothing between you and the ground except your equipment and your training. Wind is the constant enemy. At street level, a 15-mile-per-hour breeze barely moves your hair. But 800 feet up, that same wind system can gust to 40 or 50 miles per hour. And when you're on a platform hanging from cables, wind turns you into a sail. The platform swings, it rotates, it slams against the building. Workers describe it as trying to stand on a boat in a storm, except the ocean is concrete and glass, and it's a quarter mile below you. In May 2021, in Wuhan, China, Two window cleaners were working on the outside of a 46-story building when gale force winds hit. Their platform lost power and began swinging wildly, smashing the men repeatedly into the side of the building for 20 minutes. People in nearby offices filmed the whole thing. Rescue teams eventually reached them, but both workers died from their injuries. They were 34 and 54 years old. Reports revealed that local weather authorities had issued wind warnings the day before. The men went out anyway. If you're wondering why anyone would take that risk, the answer is complicated. In the United States, a high-rise window cleaner just starting out might earn $12 to $15 an hour. Experienced workers doing commercial skyscraper work can make $15 to $25 an hour. In New York, veterans with years of certification and specialized training can reach $29 to $35 an hour. That's decent money, but it's not what most people would expect for a job that involves dangling off the side of a building. The truth is, the workers who stay in this profession usually aren't doing it purely for the paycheck. They describe something else. The view, the solitude, the feeling of being the only person on the outside of a structure while 1,000 people work inside it, completely unaware you're there. There's a strange intimacy to it. You see things nobody else sees. The way a city looks from the 60th floor at sunrise. The way rain hits glass at altitude. The way buildings move, because they do move, flexing slightly in the wind, something you can actually feel when you're hanging off the side. But that feeling comes at a cost. Between 2022 and 2023, 7 window washers died on the job in the United States alone. Almost all of them fell from height. OSHA data over a 15-year period documented 88 window cleaning accidents, and 62 of those were fatal. The industry itself admits those numbers are probably too low, because not all incidents get reported, and many of the workers in this field are immigrants who may not have formal employment documentation. In New York City alone, roughly 15 window washers experience falls every year. Most aren't from the top of skyscrapers. The #1 cause of accidents is actually ladder-related. But when something goes wrong at height, the margin for error is 0. We cover stories about the world's most dangerous workplaces every week. If that's your thing, subscribe. Now, if all of this sounds terrifying for a standard skyscraper, imagine doing it on the tallest building on Earth. The Burj Khalifa in Dubai stands 2,717 feet tall. It has 24,348 individual glass windows covering roughly 1.3 million square feet of surface area. To clean the entire exterior takes a team of 36 workers, approximately 3 to 4 months. And when they finish, they go right back to the top and start over. The building uses 18 custom-built maintenance units designed by an Australian company called Cox Gommel. The system cost around $8 million to develop. Different machines handle different sections of the tower. At the lower levels, sliding platforms ride along tracks. Higher up, telescopic booms extend and rotate to reach the building's curved surfaces. Near the top, specialized davit systems operate at around 2,500 feet, and beyond that, workers descend on ropes. The conditions are brutal. Dubai's desert heat pushes temperatures well past 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Sandstorms can roll in with almost no warning. The workers wear specialized suits that resemble something closer to space gear than cleaning uniforms, and they carry hydration packs filled with electrolyte drinks, because dehydration at that altitude, in that heat, can become dangerous within an hour. One of the building's rope access contractors described something interesting. He said the actual cleaning process at 160 floors isn't dramatically different from cleaning at 16 floors. Same squeegee, same bucket of soapy water, same technique. The difference is entirely about the wind. At extreme heights, gusts become unpredictable. Workers need more attachment points, more redundant safety lines, more time to assess conditions before every single movement. A task that takes minutes at ground level can take an hour when you're hanging off the side of the world's tallest structure. And the Burj Khalifa isn't unique. It's just the most extreme example. Every major city on Earth has hundreds of buildings that require constant exterior maintenance. Shanghai, Hong Kong, Singapore, London, Chicago, Toronto. Every single one of those skylines depends on crews of workers who spend their days suspended in the air, doing physical labor in conditions that would terrify most people. The industry is evolving. Robotic window cleaners exist now, machines that can climb glass surfaces and scrub automatically. But so far, they haven't replaced human workers. The robots can move up and down, but they struggle with complex facades, curved surfaces, and the kind of detailed inspection work that a trained human eye can do in seconds. One facilities manager put it bluntly, "Even with all the technology in the world, you still can't beat a person with a squeegee and a bucket." That might sound like a joke, but it captures something real about this job. For all the engineering that goes into these billion-dollar buildings, maintaining them still comes down to a person in a harness, a few hundred feet above the street, doing work by hand. The safety standards have gotten dramatically better since the days when 1 in every 200 window cleaners in New York died on the job each year. That was the rate in the 1930s. Modern harnesses, redundant cable systems, strict weather protocols, and mandatory training have pushed fatality rates down to roughly 1 death per 1.5 million worker exposures. But rare doesn't mean safe. Every person who steps onto a scaffold platform at altitude is betting their life that every cable was properly installed, every anchor point was tested, every piece of equipment was maintained, and that the weather won't change faster than they can get back inside. Alcides Moreno bet on all of those things for 12 years, and one morning in December, the cables let go. He survived by what doctors could only describe as a miracle. His brother didn't. The buildings keep going up, taller, more complex, more expensive. And every one of them, no matter how much it costs to build, eventually needs someone to go outside and take care of it.